You have no idea how good Tim Duncan was. Oh my God.
Steven Jackson hounded by Joe Johnson. Now it's Duncan.
Oh, that is just an amazing shot. Going baseline, fading away with the double team. He's still able to knock it down.
Will be a full timeout. Tim Duncan has led the Spurs back into the early lead. He handles against Joe Johnson. Duncan posting, draws the double team. Nice move to Rose for the easy one.
I tell you, take a look here. Tim Duncan does a great job of scoring against the double team and also finding the open man. Again, this is such a key for this team. Tim Duncan.
During the regular season against Phoenix, was Duncan not reading the double teams right?
Well, it's difficult because Phoenix has
Scott Williams back in the lineup, playing in the middle. Replacing Voskill. Duncan over the top to Robinson on the classic high-low exchange of the San Antonio Spurs.
And again, Phoenix making them shoot the shots they want them to shoot.
Robinson makes the steal of a pass intended for Stoudemire. San Antonio still nursing the two-point lead. Steven Jackson. They send the posse at Duncan, but there's Robinson right in front of the cup. Ginobili against Hardaway. Duncan back out to Ginobili. And it goes to Duncan. The jump hook in traffic. Tim Duncan has 9 points in the game, 4 in the third. For the third, the Spurs have it with a 7-point lead. Ginobili goes into Duncan. Out to Jackson. He gets a look at a three, and all he needs is a look. Steven Jackson with his third three-pointer of the game. His fifth. And Duncan knocks down the...
Thought we'd get in this opening game.
Doris, you've got a report on the Spurs.
Well, Greg Popovich singled out the rookie as Robinson gets a bucket. He's singled out.
Even when he doesn't make the shot.
17 points for the rookie Stoudemire. Duncan doubled up to Robinson off the dive, and that's 2 hooks in a row for David Robinson. Jackson, 8 to shoot. Parker goes to Robinson, 5 to shoot. Duncan in deep. Nothing doing. He got knocked in.
Let's take a look at this play. Tim Duncan getting great position down low. Looks like he's got an easy two. Ball comes out. Oh, that's pretty questionable, but... You know, when you look at this Phoenix team...
Jackson maybe saves the day for San Antonio. Duncan with a layup. Parker leaves it with Jackson. Inside to Duncan. Spurs by 2. And a 71% shooter during the regular season does make the second one.
In this league, he's not a star, but he's a hustler. He's aggressive. He plays bigger than his size just because of his heart, and he can spread the defense by making some shots.
Rose goes 1 of 2. Nice setup for Bo Outlaw, blocked by Duncan. That might not be the shot they're looking for out of a double team with Bo shooting a corner 3. But you see him out, double team with Duncan even when he's 20 feet away from the basket. Off the block, Ginobili the other way.
Threes, but so he's a little bit rusty, but he's capable of knocking down 4 or 5 in a row.
Duncan running the floor.
That's exactly what happened in game 1. The Suns got off to a great start, and then a nice little run by the Spurs, but Duncan does a great job. He runs as good as any big man ever. Does a great job of sealing in the paint. Williams just late getting back, and nobody covers him up quick enough.
A 13 to...
Great job by Danny Ferry and Steven Jackson right there. Ferry to keep the ball alive, and Jackson to run it down.
Great pass from Duncan. Spurs by 4. Jackson wide open. That's a 3. That's their 4th team foul. Coming up, a minute remaining here in the first half. I used to do what, by the way? We used to hack like that.
So they got some easy fast break points. So it's not just in the numbers, but what it does to their half-court offense and how it widens the basket. See, they're coming right on catch now. They're just... Marion, I think, was late on the time before, Dan, but I don't think they're going to change their game plan now after having so much success.
So this season, he shot 71%. He started off very poorly from the line.
7 shots on 11 points tonight. Last game, only 12 shots. Danny, I think they got to get it to him more often.
Of course, Jackson hit the jumper, so it's a 1-shot foul. Now, Duncan wants the ball. Stoudemire on him. Duncan backs it in.
Able to stop that all night. You can settle for that shot anytime.
Duncan looking for a shot.
The foul on Voskill. Here you see Duncan in the post.
Double team's a little late, takes it to the glass, nice jump hook. Then Duncan again here is going to take the double team. You know what he says? Forget you guys, I'm going to do this myself. I'm the best player in this league, and I'm going to carry the team.
Duncan off the glass. Duncan missed the two big ones at the end of game one. 10 points here in the fourth quarter.
An 0 of 8 from 3. Jackson on a pick and pop to Duncan. Had it rattled free right to Jackson. Has been shooting well. Shooting. Because in game one, Duncan missed 3 free throws in the last.
And most of the time, team makes big pressure free throws. San Antonio, best record in the league. I mean, they had a tremendous second half of the season. They feel that this is the team. And he gets his first score.
2 minutes left here in the quarter, and Marion slipped as he delivered the jump shot. That threw him off. He missed. Very versatile player as well. Sends it over to Duncan. Looks to Robinson. Fake
combination, Duncan to Robinson. Watch out, Bo Outlaw. What Tim Duncan will do is play with his team. He will give the ball up, and you know, you're always amazed at a guy that gets such consistency.
To Stoudemire, cross court, Jacobson for 3. Nope. And Duncan with 3 boards, 2 assists, and he's yet to take a shot until now when he drives into the lane.
And then Tim Duncan, who has not seen many chances.
Just a screen, the cross court, take that Hardaway leading into a 3.
Around him, and that makes an opportunity open for one of San Antonio's first. Ginobili airs that.
3 of 12. Penny Hardaway into the lane, a running lefty with Duncan.
And Phoenix was able to fight their way back in it. And Phoenix had a lead late in the ball game, could not finish the game. You know, he'll come in and throw a couple of fouls on Tim Duncan.
16 minutes. If you're just joining us, he did not shoot. Hardaway draws the double outside to Johnson, center of the floor. He missed a jump shot. Ginobili up in his grill, forcing a baseline for the lean-in touch. Missed it for
sit and watch.
Amari Stoudemire hit the first, missed the second.
It's an offensive scheme. Amari Stoudemire, underhand.
With the left hand, the offhand missed it. Ball rattled away from Duncan by Marion. Missed it from point-blank range. Duncan with a rebound. This time
they tried to strip him of the ball.
Johnson outside off the screen. Missed the long-range jump shot. Ball batted by Ginobili to Duncan. A great
and Joe Johnson trying to come back, but this is the previous possession where there are so many Phoenix Suns fighting around Tim Duncan. Little pork chop right in the bank shot in game one. He's really pumped up tonight because he got that rookie
point lead. Marbury up top for the jump shot. No go. Duncan with a rebound. This is Marion. Duncan with another rebound. Are you counting? 15 now and 20.
The NBA. When that ball's in the air, they go back and get it. They don't wait for it to come. Nice pass.
Ginobili with a
and Speedy Claxton.
Parker off the pick. Williams slow to get there. Tony missed it. Duncan tipped.
Tim Duncan will do is share the basketball, so he gets just a half a body to see around and finds Ginobili right at the rim. So the Phoenix Suns defense, which is the heart of what they do, has broken down. They can't give the
Duncan with a look to Smith. Oh, he made a great stride between 2 defenders. Had the shot to Steve Smith, set out high on the left side. The veteran from Michigan State. Drops it low to Duncan, double to Parker for 3. Got it! Reeve up top, Marbury for the long stroke. Bosco to follow. Duncan with 18 rebounds. Down, right across the chops. Now get the ball, drives in deep. Tried to force it up.
Broken last year, but he's always found a way to keep the team competitive. Duncan.
Pivots away, the floater's up and off. There's Duncan again. Lead for San Antonio. Hardaway down the right side. The pull-up jump shot off the mark. Duncan 21 rebounds. Great outlet pass up the floor to Steven Jackson. And get it up in the paint. Challenged by Duncan and the ball tipped Hardaway. Blocked by Duncan. Blocked by Duncan. Wrestled free and
for teams to get easy inside stuff. Duncan holding long arms gets the first. Joe Johnson said, "Give me another chance." He said, "I won't let you have it."
Duncan now at the line. He has garnered 21 rebounds. Steven Jackson, I think, has been a great story in his first playoff series. From Oak Hill Academy, originally drafted by this defense that we've grown accustomed to, just shutting folks down.
Well, what they've done, though, is they've shared the basketball, and they've been getting it to Duncan again.
So with 20 points tonight, is hit on 8 of 13, and the Spurs are...
Parker finds Duncan. Move inside on Scott, spending his 7.
Duncan against Scott Williams.
And for Penny to make a big outside shot early, that's going to build his confidence.
Tony Parker hits again. Jackson. Duncan's got a couple fouls on him. Robinson's on the bench so far. Nice feed by Outlaw, but knocked away by...
Right here you see Tim Duncan. I mean, he comes back, he takes his time on the dribble, he's attacked, but he still drops it over the top softly. Great vision in seeing. Right here, you see Bo Outlaw coming through. Tim Duncan just reaches off, stands off of him, and
He wasn't even there and laid it in.
It's unbelievable, too, because he's going in.
Tim Duncan with a nice turn. Each team has turned it over 5 times in the second quarter. It's Duncan over Bosco. Penny Hardaway with 3 apiece for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, they better get back to double team because he's going to foul out the whole Phoenix Suns team before this is over. They're not doing this good to leave 1-1 down there.
It actually shows
with their league high 60 wins. Leading this series 2-1. Duncan plowing down the base even in the game at 26. Duncan.
Ankle surgeries, really worked on hard on his game. The playoffs, it felt like the whole world had been lifted off his shoulders.
He's a good kid.
Russell played. That was the most action I got.
All right, we're going to get all kinds of things. Here's Bosco against Duncan. That's a tough man. By 9, and here comes Marbury right down the lane, knocked away.
Maybe he gets pushed out of bounds.
Duncan. Into Duncan. Counting the foul.
Fire out.
Look how effortless that was.
So smooth. So smooth.
We've seen after the first 2 games where he really struggled, he has bounced back in a big way in games 3 and 4. Steven Jackson. Well, he's already had more field goals in game 5 than he did in the entire game 4. Good defense early. Both teams have played well defensively in this series. Jackson wide open for 3. Duncan with another rebound.
That's what happens a lot of time when teams trap and rotate.
14 on the shot clock as they'll inbound. Duncan again, a very good passer and a very good shooter.
It's just amazing. I mean, that's the quandary the Suns had. No, you can't. You know, they're doing a good job offensively on the boards, getting their missed shots. They're just getting too many easy baskets. I mean, that's just a classic high-low play where these 2 guys have been doing it for so long.
Jackson, by the way, just going back to the Spurs locker room. Duncan.
This is unbelievable. I mean, Duncan runs down from the defensive end, runs all the way down. Not
team here in the 3rd quarter. Duncan. And Tim Duncan comes right back, and that is a huge bucket because the momentum had so completely shifted.
Just being patient down there. They come down too late on the double team to get hits on the arm. Completes the play.
You know, depending on how the game works out, the baskets to stop a team on a big run can really turn a game. Suns within 11. Smith wide open. Steve Smith hits a big 3, and that's his first field goal of the series. 3 of 5 from the line. Been here a chance of MVP all game. Major League Baseball action returning Friday night to TBS Superstation at 10 p.m. Eastern as the Atlanta Braves take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's Friday night on TBS Superstation. Phoenix came back, cut it to 10 at one point. They're now back up to 17. Malik Rose. Rose gets the roll. What a game for Malik Rose. 20 points and 11 rebounds. Duncan. If guys hit shots off those double teams, it's almost impossible to beat this team.
What he did was just amazing.
Duncan has had another terrific all-around game. He's 5 of 7 from the free throw line. And that makes it a 9-point game. Credit the way they've stormed back several times here in the second half and made the crowd anxious and made the Spurs sweat a little bit until he hits. And you saw the expression on his face of disappointment. Another great all-around game from Duncan as you see the numbers. What to me really impresses me, we've said this a couple of times, the fact that, you know, they're taking the ball out of his hands. He's an MVP candidate, one of the premier scorers, yet he's not looking to force his shots. He doesn't need shots. He just wants to win and making the plays necessary when he's double teamed.
Well, to me, a guy who's going to be an MVP, most important target. They came out, didn't have the same kind of pressure. The double teams weren't as hard. The traps and the pick and rolls weren't very good. You can't expect to come into this building and win a game playing that type of defense. And you just expect a lot more from them out of Game 6 when they go home to Phoenix.
Stephon Marbury and Ted Bernhardt, the referee, having words yelling back and forth at each other. And as Duncan knocks it down.
Parker with a nice defensive play. We've seen a different Tony Parker since the first 2 games of this series. Duncan getting double teamed almost every time. Jackson for 3. Steven Jackson from downtown. And the Spurs quickly lead at 5-0.
And that's the guy who stepped up in Game 2. He had a bunch of points off of double teams like that where he stayed behind the three-point line and knocked in. He's a very good shooter. He's had a great series.
Yeah, let's bring our guy Reggie Theus in. Reggie.
Hey, Mike, Dan Marley was talking about Stephon's arm, and he said that if the arm started bothering him and his jumper wasn't falling, look for him to drive a lot more tonight. This is a game that they got to have. They don't want to.
They're staying home for the rest of the season, so the Suns were very disappointed. They're out with the way they came out in Game 5. They didn't have any energy.
Now, there's no question it's bothering them. Shot clock turned off. Final seconds, first quarter. Speedy Claxton next at 2. Great fake, get past Duncan, and who's there? But David Robinson.
That's why they're so good defensively too. But a good job by Scott because he's known as kind of a jump shooter.
Duncan, tough play in traffic. Guys draped on him on a thread the needle pass from Manu Ginobili. First off, how does Ginobili get that pass in there? And then how does Duncan get that shot off?
Ginobili's amazing with his passing ability. He just makes the right passes. And he makes them look extremely easy. And then Duncan just versatile with both hands. Williams grabbed his right. He finishes it with the left. We were talking defensively about the Spurs, and what Coach said is
it's a nice feed into Duncan. And Duncan too strong. Gets it again. Blocked by Outlaw. Jackson. Oh, beautiful setup from Steven Jackson. And the easiest 2 for Duncan. So Ginobili will wait for the next whistle. 4.5 remaining, third quarter. Jackson for 3. Steven Jackson had a hand in his face, but able to knock it down. And he's got 10 points before he gets the ball. Ginobili trying to work it with Malik Rose. Steven Jackson for 3. Duncan right there.
And that hurts when you play good, solid defense for about 22 seconds, and they get an air ball
in the third. Ginobili. Duncan again, double team every time he has it. Ginobili hits it. A 3-pointer for Manu Ginobili. And the San Antonio Spurs regain the lead. Ginobili's also picked his pocket a few times. Duncan, Ginobili wide open. Hits the 3. Manu Ginobili having a huge fourth quarter for the Spurs who go up by 4.
Tim Duncan at his best. That play was designed for Duncan to get the ball.
Chance of defense. And they have played good, strong defense throughout the series. Jackson, another open 3. Steven Jackson from downtown as Duncan with another open pass for an open 3.
Stephen Jackson al MVP de la liga. Lanzamiento de Duncan contra tabla. Una de las típicas. Marca de la casa, Duncan.
Pero esta no es tan típica la jugada, o sea, el tiro sí. Acción del mate en tu cara.
¿Cómo está el amigo? Ahora se va Tim Duncan. Esta es otra manera. Porque se va David Robinson, pues fíjate, con Jermaine O'Neal. Grandísimo jugador la que montaría con este hombre, con Tim Duncan, que lanza de 5 metros, canasta limpia de Tim Duncan. Después del tiempo muerto. Los Lakers después del tiempo muerto. Bueno, 3 de 8 O'Neal, el resto del equipo 2 de 11.
Fíjate. Así Lakers no ganan.
No, así desde luego que no. Que bien sacó ahí ese pase O'Neal, pero vaya tapón que se llevó Devian George. Recupera el propio O'Neal.
¿Qué han pitado? Cancha Dallas es porque simplemente tiene el mejor récord de la temporada en victorias y derrotas.
Un partido, solamente un partido.
Más. O sea, no tiene nada que ver que haya sido campeón de la Pacific Division Sacramento. En el tema del factor cancha, lo que cuenta son las victorias.
10 puntos, 5 rebotes.
¡Qué bien!
Qué rápido es.
Ese rebote. Pobre Shaquille, que está haciendo de todo, sino el resto.
Mira todo lo que puede en esa última acción. Pero claro, llega Tim Duncan solo.
Estaba cometió alguna medianamente, bueno, voy a decir a media distancia.
De tus admirados PJ Carlesimo.
No me dejo con ellos.
Stephen Jackson, defendido por Devian George. Son los mismos quintetos que iniciaban el partido, por cierto. Es decir, Tony Parker, Stephen Jackson, Bruce Bowen. Sigue lanzado todo lo que quiere y un poquito más.
Sí, pues está tirando todo, así que bonito.
2 más para Tim.
Sí que no les llegaban los balones, ¿cómo va a notar?
Algunos ha jugado que no, pero sí.
Bueno,
la verdad es que sí, desde hace tiempo. Spurs con Tim Duncan, defendido por Robert Horry. Qué bueno es.
Un aclarado como el que vemos ahora, que en muy pocas ocasiones se ha dado. Y si ahora lo tienes porque Manu Ginóbili ha anotado un triple, porque Bruce Bowen ha anotado triples y porque ya anotan otros. No era...
De vuelta lanza Kobe. Pero se falla, va alternando a ciertos errores. 2 puntos. 60-49. Tapón de Duncan a Mark Madsen.
Al lado de Rose y Duncan son casi un chiste.
Juega Ginóbili. Balón para Tim Duncan. Titi Claston.
O sea, Madsen, el que no está ahora es Horry.
¿Cómo se fue Ginóbili?
No, pero sobre todo le está funcionando la congoja que tiene el rival ahora.
También.
Y que ellos están creciendo.
Primer error de los Lakers en bastante tiempo. En estos últimos minutos, falta ataque para Bruce Bowen. Ataque finalmente Tim Duncan ante Robert Horry.
Qué bien.
Sí, muy bien. Para Robin.
Jugando a Tony Parker. Jugando el balón para Tim Duncan. Duncan. Lanzamiento de Tim Duncan. La gana de la Caram. Ahí está jugando la Duncan. Duncan abriendo el balón. Tenemos ese balón para Tim Duncan. Duncan con el balón marcado por Robert Horry. Se fue. Y la canasta. En posesión de balón para los Spurs. Ginóbili y canasta de Ginóbili.
Ginóbili aumente su cuenta de puntos, como ha hecho en este caso. Un jugador con mucho descaro y que está...
Ahí de Ferry. Lucha por el rebote. Bien rebote de Duncan y canasta. Ahí. Cuando le rodean. Bowen de 3. Sí, parece. Tim Duncan. Hasta ahora. Entrada y canasta. Amiéndola, jugándola en ataque. San Antonio Spurs. Vean la asistencia para Robinson. Canasta. Ahí jugando el balón en ataque para Tim. Sigue 21. Balón para Robinson. Más bonito de Robinson y canasta. Luego de la posición. Y al final el contraataque rápido y la canasta.
Es el segundo tapón.
Parker ahí sacando su balón. A Bruce Bowen. Lanzamiento de Tim Duncan y canasta.
On Wednesday, Steven Jackson able to turn it from the 0 for 6 in game 1. Duncan, Shaq came over, but a bit too late.
The big men were going to come up with it. He just took his body off of Bowen just for a second, enough for Bowen to sneak in there and get it.
Now Duncan able to get inside. He got position, so that ends the 13-0 run. The Lakers have hit 9 for 13 here at the start. Duncan getting position and again takes advantage.
Sometimes the official will call it because he feels you're rolling into the defender.
Duncan has come alive the last couple of minutes. He now has 8 points.
Go back and talk about the team defense. You'll see that Duncan puts it down and gets to the front of the rim way too easy. There's no one coming on the rotation. The help from the outside is way too late. He's going to make a decision if they want to make a change. Put it on the floor and try and go by him.
And here is Shaq, rejected by Duncan.
Kept the thing was when Shaq goes in, there's the turn-in, or he goes down. Lakers questioning why Shaquille O'Neal picks up those fouls, but not Tim Duncan.
Foul on Madsen.
Job from Madsen.
Here's Duncan making the turn and scores. San Antonio in possession as this third quarter gets underway. Duncan, yes.
This is perseverance. Get behind that three-point line and then finish it off.
Moving surprisingly well despite that ankle sprain. Duncan, yes. Tim Duncan backing his way on Robert Horry. And Bowen had been a major part of that equation. Not a factor here tonight. Tim Duncan facing the double team. Bad pass. And back comes San Antonio.
Duncan. Tim Duncan taking it strong to the rim and then putting it off glass. So to win their first NBA title, Devin George not supposed to play. Did not come out hobbling, should be pointed out. Here's Duncan getting inside, hit his first two shots. Did 2 of 4 at the line, only 71% during the season. You've been very generous. Lakers with a 12-point lead. Duncan puts it down. Tim Duncan extending and was able to add 2 more to his total. He now has 26.
Strip and Tim Duncan, after setting the screen, has a wide open look at the front of the rim, and just in case anybody decided to come up and challenge, he's very emphatic with this finish. He's still not happy, Jack, is he? Releases, get somebody in that high post area. When the wing is being overplayed, hit the high post, run it back door with the wing.
Tim Duncan showing his specialty. Going glass from the perimeter. Nice play. Willis taking that lead from Duncan. So the Lakers now lead 95-80.
Where the Lakers down, the Lakers not very deep at all.
Parker gets it down low for Duncan. Hits the jump hook for the first basket of the game.
But his forte is defense, and he has, even though Kobe got 39 in the last game, he has done a good job, as good a job as you can expect of it. You know, here you see a great move by Duncan. Whoa, that's a step and go the opposite direction. Caught or
cleans up the miss from Parker, and the Spurs will reset. Jackson over on the far side, bounce pass to Duncan, extra pass inside, reverse from Willis. Great ball movement by the Spurs.
Great pass by Duncan, stronger than the other two big guys. He's about 6 or 7 inches smaller than Shaquille O'Neal.
Tony Parker takes the handoff from Duncan and lays it in.
Down and then fell down and bought the call.
It was almost a textbook pick by Fisher. I mean, you can't find anything wrong with it. And nothing wrong with that. Down low, Tim Duncan. Robert Horry fighting for post position.
Take a look at how quick this move is. Spin back, strong to the basket, nice little finger roll off the glass.
High post to Duncan. Back to Ginobili. Fakes the 3. Bounce pass for the cutting Duncan. Count the hoop. And the foul shot coming. Tim Duncan working that screen and roll with Ginobili.
Fundamental basketball, pick and roll. A great pass here by Ginobili, splitting the 2 defenders. Duncan has been effective for the Spurs so far in these playoffs.
Down low for Duncan. Mark Madsen will attempt to guard the back-to-back MVP. Hits the turnaround and the foul, so another chance for 3 for the MVP.
Well, Mark Madsen tries to defend people by getting a good solid base and by muscling. Now he's muscling Duncan here, gets called for the foul, but Duncan is 6'11", Madsen's maybe 6'8", so Duncan's got the size advantage, can go up over Madsen, under prime. I wouldn't have any problem taking either one of them.
Kenny Ferry, the deeper this season is gone. They both towards the end of their careers.
There is some contact. Initially, Shaq got all ball, but he did create some contact defending Tim Duncan.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's just the first foul on O'Neal. Shot clock is at 7. Duncan will go into the lane and hit the pull-up. He's got 17.
Great hands for a big guy. Something that you don't realize when you look at his size. Look at Duncan. Gets into the paint, goes up and over.
Lakers, that 3 pulls it to a 4-point deficit. Steven Jackson hits along the baseline.
Pretty good defense. And it might have been a better decision, even though he made the jump shot.
Tim Duncan kicks it out to Parker. Parker hits the jumper.
Derek Fisher.
The absent Phil Jackson, who, if you're just joining us, ordered by doctors.
Operate in the low block.
Duncan off the fake, hits the little leaner. 20 points for Tim Duncan. It's a 10-point lead again. Shaquille O'Neal starting to assert himself, but the consistent, fundamental damage being done.
The basket, particularly now against Malik Rose.
Tim Duncan working against Samaki Walker, sizing him up. One dribble, pull up, hits, 22
That's a
for
tough
Tim
shot.
Duncan.
You got a 6'11" guy juke up on Steven Jackson, and nobody thinks to block it or create some intimidation. But somebody, some perimeter player had to have the foresight to block out Malik Rose, and it wasn't there.
Duncan, one-on-one with Samaki Walker. Jabbing, dribbling, spinning, and hitting off glass.
And that is a big-time shot. Samaki Walker did.
So Tim Duncan with 26 points is 9 for 11.
Just courageous move by Duncan because, again, he's saddled with 4 fouls. Had he picked up an offensive there, that's a terrific post-up move, and Tim Duncan's got all of the moves.
They stick with the game plan and, the patience. He's never in a hurry, Tim Duncan.
Yep.
And he gets
it. Role player. Wasn't a scorer by any means, but did all the other things.
That's for sure. Let's just say he understood playoff intensity.
Oh, well, if you think. And there is a school of thought that says the way you cover Tim Duncan is to be physical with him.
Duncan ties it up. A great percentage at 15 of 19.
But this is the turnish.
Tim Duncan, guarded by Robert Horry. Horry has 4 fouls. Duncan goes right to him, takes him down deep. Bothered by Horry, but the putback. Duncan following his own miss. He's got 36.
He stayed right in that thing of that shot at that particular time.
Now he will try and lock up Tim Duncan. Nobody's been able to do it today. Duncan kicks out to Steven Jackson.
Oh.
Jackson hits the 3. Spurs by 2.
Huge shot by another role player stepping up, and it gives the Spurs a 2-point lead. Now take a look at Tim Duncan. MVP, you have to give him credit. Stayed with that amongst a sea of white shirts, and here he sees that same sea, kicks it out to a wide open Steven Jackson, who makes a big 3.
First underway, and the Spurs have a 4-2 lead. Once again, a very tough assignment for Robert Horry. You saw Bryant come over to try. Half of the game. Tim Duncan spending a lot of time at the line in game 4, 16 of 20. And here's Bryant, stopped by Bolt. Parker. Parker put the speed on. Ball into Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, he didn't show up. It doesn't. He's not going to watch the game or have any input.
Steven Jackson. For Tony Parker to have a good ball game.
Well, in game number 4, you see Shaq stripped as he turns to the basket that time.
And back come the Spurs. Duncan handling very smoothly. Tim Duncan with the rebound, takes it up the floor, and then hits the drop shot.
Robert didn't want to run up. Reverses roles. He'll take the lead right now on the fast break. Gets to the foul line, pulls up, hits the jump shot.
All night, you may think you're in another room alone, but when you look up, I'll be in your face.
Tim Duncan with a facial. Now the backcourt with Manu Ginobili. Mark Matson defending on Tim Duncan. Here's an open shot for Ginobili. Yes. Ginobili from downtown.
Ginobili, the ability to penetrate. He draws 2 defenders, 2 purple shirts. One leaves Duncan. Duncan finishes it off, and then the favor is returned. This time inside, back out. Ginobili hits the 3.
This group has played well. Claxton try to go back door. Duncan, yes. San Antonio with a 19-point lead at 34. Jackson with the step. Rebound, Duncan. Tim Duncan.
Him the resistance that he normally gets. This time Jackson turns the corner. He may not make it, but the big man Duncan follows.
Jackson. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and Bruce Bowen. Up front, you see Duncan feeling for Horry. Fisher cheating over, and Duncan is able to hit. For the Spurs, series tied at 2, game 6 at Staples in LA on Thursday night. Duncan, yes. 8:46
Duncan, wild shot. He was double teamed. He had nowhere to go, and he knows that was very fortunate.
Bobby shot that thing, it looked like from below his hip. Come down late to close the double team. Fisher gets in there, but a little bit too late. He steps through. There you see him shoot it from his hip area and banks it off the glass. I think he's a little bit happy about this one as he comes down the floor.
Duncan, yes. The SBC Center led by as many as 33. That was an intended pass from George. George gets it back. He's blocked by Duncan, but O'Neal with the stop.
And also test the Spurs defense. Duncan goes up high to block his initial attack at the basket.
Eastern time, Thursday on ABC, Game 6 between the Spurs and Lakers starting the line. His best all-around performance in this series. 6-0 run by the Lakers on the 2 3-pointers by Bryant to end the third quarter. Tim Duncan opens up, makes his return. We have seen Greg Popovich do a lot of shuffling between Parker and Claxton. Duncan off the nice lead from Jackson. Steven Jackson is
gets it up and makes a huge shot.
Ryan Shaw hitting that 33-foot shot at the end of the third quarter the other night. That counts on a foul. Jackson will head to the ball on Matson.
When the Lakers come back, and there's the late double team that takes place by Shaw. The weak side of the floor is very, very late in getting over there and covering the lane. You'll see Shaw come back late. They double team off the cutter, and there we see the rotation across.
Delaney. Duncan continues to struggle at the line. It's one and come on strong in the second half. The lead for Robinson. Tim Duncan.
It had that feel. Duncan goes over Robert Horry that time.
Duncan has such a size and strength advantage over Horry. As good as Horry is, every time Duncan has to go to the hoop. And then when they bring Shaq over, that's when Duncan becomes the passer.
All the Spurs starters have scored so far. Here's Duncan again against Horry. And the dish underneath to Robinson.
The last 48 hours instrumental in Shaq's mobility tonight.
Duncan finds the handle and scores. Almost had it stripped by Devin George. And Tim Duncan's got 5.
Well, keep an eye on where Tim Duncan is able to receive the ball on the post.
With 5 points. And it's not just the points, guys. He does it another way.
Well, what do you do with the guy with the ultimate skills and the patience of Job? Just waiting. What are you going to do? Jump? All right. I'll find my partner underneath the basket. Wait. Oh, you're not coming? Okay. How about that in your mouth? Take that one as well. You cannot, when a guy like this gets it going.
It was as beautiful a day as you could possibly imagine here in the Southland today. And a Laker playoff game in the afternoon. What could be better?
Nothing.
5 on the shot clock for Duncan on the baseline. He does it in a lot of different ways.
The end, literally, for him. And kind of sad to see him have to go up against Shaq right now.
Now it's Duncan outside.
Spurs have hit their last 4 shots here. I'd come right back to Duncan.
There it is. He'll go up and over Horry. Claxton in trouble. Got it to Malik Rose. Ginobili to Duncan. Wow. And Tim Duncan has scored 10 of the last 12 Spurs points.
You can't do it any better.
But none of those have been hard points.
No.
Just effortless, not the kind that's going to wear him out.
And here's a steal.
Speedy Claxton, impact immediately. Depth at guard is a huge factor for San Antonio here.
Rose the kick out. Ginobili's wide open for 3.
Oh, what a pass. What a pass.
Duncan again.
That's 2. Yeah, one more. They might want to be checking the San Andreas right about now.
Duncan hasn't shot since he's come back in. Kicks it out to Parker for 3, and Tony Parker. 2 threes in this quarter.
You'd probably rather not, though.
You'd rather win the game.
Yeah, there you go.
Lakers have hit their last 7 shots now. Tim Duncan with the offensive rebound and puts it back in.
13 games the Lakers will have played just to get to the Western Conference Finals.
Tom said a long time ago they were going to get there to be their toughest test. And Tim Duncan starting to pick back up where he left off in the first quarter.
Back in your face as well.
Medvedenko over Duncan. Duncan got the rebound, and he'll lead the break.
Look at this.
Give it up.
Look out. Look out.
Got it to Rose, and Rose got the bucket.
Great pump fake. Let everybody fly by. Tim Duncan, 7-foot handling. As Mike West should be. He has the most dominant player in the game, scored 3 straight possessions.
Tony Parker out to Duncan. He'll try it again. Got it.
100% into it. It takes a lot of work, and if your heart's not into it, it's time to move on.
And the Lakers are understanding that right now. Pete, thanks a lot. Back to you, Brad.
There he is.
But they're not moving away from the ball.
Now someone's got to cut.
Over O'Neal, in and out. Duncan puts it back in.
Malik Rose with the foul here.
That's third on Rose.
You see the dribble right there to the middle. Or Shaq was heading down like somebody else. You got to be cognizant of the fact that we got to move, we got to cut. As the other players, you got to stay involved and not just be caught standing around watching Tim.
Duncan up and under O'Neal somehow.
A pretty good show.
That's when the Lakers started doing some sweeping of their own. Ferry and Duncan playing catch, and now it's Duncan baseline. What a shot.
Forward to the San Antonio Spurs. Turnovers and missed free throws. Those have been their bugaboos, giving up fourth-quarter leads.
And Tim Duncan just continues to go wild.
The Lakers.
The entry pass to O'Neal. Willis trying to body him up. Shaq goes on the baseline.
That's great defense.
Yes. Duncan another rebound.
Well, as big as Shaq is, Kevin's about as strong as they come at 6'10 and a half.
Duncan giving it off to Ginobili, right back to Duncan. Blocked by O'Neal, no foul there. Duncan will try it again and got it.
This is a clinic. How many players have played this well ever?
Huge edge in rebounding, shooting great as they have the whole game. Duncan to Parker.
You see Parker right there is going to throw it in, then he just cuts. Cuts, and look at that. There is nobody there. Right now, MVP, and just, you want to talk about an array of moves tonight. Jump hook over Shaq. I don't want to do jump hook again. How about a little up and under floater? Under Shaq right here. Get stopped once. Stay at it. The layup. How about a wrist? Might be a runner right here. It is a runner, and it is good.
More involving a different combination of people all the time. You've got to figure out a way how you want to play it, and it can't be a steady diet.
Nice play as Parker sets it up for Duncan. Regular season, same record as Dallas. Here's Duncan. Got a glass and able to hit on the putback. And Tim Duncan has had his difficulties at the line during the season.
What he wants to do is have a huge free throw discrepancy at the end of the game. They should want to get to the free throw line plus 30.
Off, got glass, and here's it from the crowd. Game is tied at 11. We played 4 minutes. Pretty feed by Jackson, and Duncan with 8 points here at the start. That was action being played by Van Exel. Try to lead Robinson. It actually deflected off. Oh, the Spurs very fortunate.
Duncan was at the top of the circle running pick and roll. Now immediately they go right back in the hole. And this is where I feel he should be if the Vitz is going to play him. Time for fouls on Dirk.
Tim Duncan with 10 points. Ginobili has checked in, as has Malik Rose. Don Nelson telling us he's particularly concerned about the combination of Tim Duncan and Malik Rose. Parker for 3. Tony Parker with 5 points. Ginobili is played by Nowitzki. The double team on Duncan. Ginobili shoots for 3.
Very often, but he wants to make sure he gets a high percentage shot this time down.
Well, Nash's shot blocked by Duncan. Parker.
Both these teams have tremendous depth, but when Ginobili comes in the game, not only can he beat you off the dribble, but he has the ability to make big three-point shots for this thing.
12-ball run for San Antonio. Here's Duncan.
Beautiful turnaround. The problem with the zone defense, if you get the wrong matchup on the initial catch and aren't there to double right away, Duncan's going to...
Only 19 a game of the 4 regular season contests against. For Dirk, 3 of 4 from the floor. Spurs 34, Mavericks 21. Duncan, once again, getting inside. He has 16 points.
Going to force the ball into his hands, matched up against Dirk Nowitzki. He drives baseline, tries to put a foul on the big man. Then in the lane, he seals Nowitzki on his back, and then it's a matter of just laying it in. A nice catch, and then unselfish play to his teammate, David Robinson. Talk about unselfish again versus the double team. Ginobili catches the assist from...
And now Naharaj taking a shot at defending Duncan. That catch and the foul.
Team him. He concentrates on what he has to get done. You see him again step through, brings the ball down low, and then elevates it high at the last second and has the beautiful touch at the end and gets the roll. Now he tries to complete the three-point play.
And he does a great job of semi-exposing the ball with his arm so he
could throw the ball on a regular basis to Robinson versus Nowitzki and get some scores out of it.
Nowitzki passed on the 3, trying to dump it off. Duncan on the intercept.
But with Bradley on the floor, they match Bradley up against him. Bradley plays behind him, and you saw just then what happened.
In the half. Now Harrod trying to defend on Duncan. Tim Duncan backs it home.
Nash figured he had an open jumper. Nash was heading in to crash the offensive boards.
Hawker accelerates, dumps it off to Duncan.
Lane to protect a little bit sooner that time.
Nowitzki has 16 to lead Dallas. Here's Bowen for 3. Yes! Well, he can hit from downtown. He led the NBA in three-point shooting at 44%. Here's Nash, way back for 3. The line. Remaining in this first half, Robinson with 6 points.
Bradley is starting because they felt that he was more effective during the regular season against San Antonio. Mark?
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Here's Duncan. So the flow with it every so often. Shot clock to 6. Hawker, yes.
2 hard dribbles to his left. Duncan had to retreat. Nowitzki had space to knock it in.
Nowitzki tried to keep it away, and it's a goaltend.
Now it's questioning who tapped the ball while it was up there. You see Bradley get it. Bradley's poised back on the defensive end without fouling, and out of the double team of Duncan, they've got to get a good balance between shooting it and driving the ball to the rim.
Catch and the foul. What a pass from Duncan to slip it to Willis.
Handle in traffic, but somehow Duncan sees the opening. Willis is able to find the handle, and while he's being fouled, catch it and finish it. That's a very
funny when he said, "We're still great friends, but I'll never do a deal with him," because he always tries to fleece the other guy. So that was a funny exchange today.
And Parker extends to the 85. 8-point San Antonio lead. Ginobili having Claxton on a hop, but he threw it back out, and then Duncan able to knock it down, leading to a Dallas timeout.
I love that Greg Popovich did not downsize his team when Don Nelson went small with Walt Williams at the 4. Keep Willis on the floor and stay big.
What a pass from Ginobili to set it up for the cutting Duncan. Kevin Willis.
There's the screen. Ginobili knows exactly where the big man's supposed to be. Puts the ball right there. Good hands. Good finish by Duncan.
The line. First free throws of this second half. Western Conference Final 1995. Rockets beat the Spurs.
To a game. They have 46 attempts tonight.
Team that does not go to the line frequently, but when they do, they hit their shots. Here's Duncan, yes. Primarily doing it at the line where he's 7 of 8. The NBA draft, well, you can catch the draft lottery Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. Then following the lottery, log on to NBA.com. Underway, Ginobili Puts the move on Bell. Rebounded by Duncan. Tim Duncan.
Cancer surgery. He had a 13-8 record. Then last year he was 2-0 when he took over as head coach. The pass underneath to Speedy for the layup.
Duncan gets in the foul.
They get the second shot opportunity because Duncan got the offensive rebound. Here, as he flashes into the open area, you see Bell hit him on his left forearm as he's going up for the jump shot. He knows basket's good, and he gets another.
A very animated Tim Duncan. Coming off the 40 points in game 1. Has 19.
Dallas' zone has had effect on San Antonio.
Duncan is fouled. Basket will not count. Duncan then drawing.
They're trying to figure out where the technical foul came from. It must have happened.
Jeff has many creative thoughts on that subject. Here's Duncan.
Maybe criticizing Joey Crawford for ejecting Don Nelson in the first quarter of a playoff game, but I talked to Joey at half.
Understand that to a certain extent.
Well, the problem is, coaches haven't officiated and officials haven't coached, and neither one knows the dynamics and the pressures that the other one feels.
So he remains with 3. Here's Bowen for 3. As Duncan tried to establish position, he was pushed. Dallas over there.
They're enticed with the 3.
Duncan will go to the line. Ginobili with the line. Beautifully done. Manu Ginobili for Tim Duncan. Nowitzki playing with the 4 fouls. Duncan goes at him and scores. The 3-point shooting. A 14-4 run by Dallas. They've hit 11 of 27 from downtown. Malik Rose sitting down after picking up his hit. Tim Duncan. Shot clock to 5. Duncan looking to tie the series at 1. Nowitzki shot blocked by Duncan. 2:40 remaining on the 4. Ginobili with 1 on the shot clock. Shot clock down to 5. Duncan has a beautiful quick release.
Believes his team has to double team quicker, be more decisive to get the ball out of Duncan's hands.
Nice pass from Parker. Robinson shot blocked, but Duncan is right there. So the Spurs off to a 7-2 lead.
A 2-man game. Parker whipping the ball right back to Robinson. Initial rejection, followed by Tim Duncan.
Oh, the old whip pass.
3 of this Western Conference Final series. LeBron's blocked by Duncan.
Somebody else.
It has been.
It's only you and me here, guy.
Duncan able to recover.
But Bob Delaney told Bell in no uncertain terms on the way back, that'll be his last complaint.
Duncan, yes. Nowitzki backing his way on. Malik Rose, who just came on. He thought that he was fouled. 12 from the field. Here's Jackson for 3. Yes. Steven Jackson from straight away.
But truly, Marv, I know contrary to reports, but I've only spoken to Cleveland about 9 days ago as Robinson stopped a good play. Keep it going.
Jeff calling for the double.
Wants a double foul now. Now it's okay.
All right, Parker on the steal. Parker whipping by Nash.
No fouls called in game 1. 48 fouls in game 2.
15 minutes. Took only 1 shot. As they were very... Duncan off single coverage. We had just Nahara defending against him. And trying to find a screen, then leads LaFrench. Duncan with the block. Here comes Parker. And Dallas gets back. The teardrop attempted over Nowitzki, and then a foul.
Up the initial miss and get fouled.
Reminder tomorrow on ESPN, it's Game 4, the Pistons and the Nets. The box out. This game has had a terrific flow to it. Parker, Duncan, and the reason there has been a good flow.
I'm building my whole 4th of July around that. I think the guy's name's Ricky Roddick or something.
They go for the mismatch. Robinson over to help. Finley gets inside. Rejected by Duncan. That's 4 block shots for Tim Duncan.
San Antonio has switched their pick and roll defense. They're going to more switching of the pick and roll to keep everyone covered.
Parker doing it from inside off the dribble, doing it from outside. And
the switch that puts Parker on Nowitzki. 7 foot versus 6'1". Too much of a height differential.
Duncan able to go glass, and the Spurs lead by 1.
Players use the glass. It's so exciting in this game, and they turn in and use the bank shot, as Tim Duncan does so well.
Shot was deflected. Ginobili passed on the 3. A bullet pass for Duncan. It counts, and the foul.
Defense blocking it and securing the rebound, and then they come right back and find the big man in the low post there. The finish, and now the foul line opportunity.
And what Ginobili did right there was not settle for the 3. He took it to the basket, drew the next defender, and then found Duncan for the 3-point play.
Thus far tonight, San Antonio leads by 6. Nowitzki rejected by Duncan. That's 5 block shots.
Didn't see Tim Duncan coming. Every time he posts up Parker, either Duncan or Robinson are coming over right away to help out. Game 2 only played 8 minutes in the first half, Jeff.
Beautiful pass from Rose. Malik Rose on the back door to Tim Duncan. You mentioned earlier, Czar has been an excellent road team. 27 and 14 on the road. They won 18 of the last 20. Tony Parker extends to a 10-point lead.
While the rodeo is in, we'll see Tim Duncan down low being guarded by LaFrench. A beautiful pass. They attacked the zone perfectly to get a high percentage shot. Then a little pass and move without the ball. Outside handoff. Easy layup for Tony Parker.
Nowitzki is down. Dallas going 4 on 5. Duncan with yet another block shot. Nowitzki is still down. This is shades of the Malik Rose Eduardo Nahara incident in Game 1. Tim Duncan scores and is fouled.
That could be a hyperextension right there. And then short-handed, they find Duncan in the middle. Duncan converts, is fouled. They're working on Nowitzki under the basket. Rest of the game,
Did he do that again?
The punching and shoving, all that.
By the way, against the Kings in Sacramento to start the second round, and the Kings won both games here in Dallas as Ginobili is able to score. At the line, Walt Williams comes on for Dallas for the first time tonight. John Nelson looking for some more offense, so Duncan
get them to take higher percentage shots.
And one of the reasons they are most likely to hang on, even...
Good job by David Robinson. Here's Parker on the open floor. Parker, Duncan with the rebound.
Back out at him, take time off the clock, get the ball to the guy we want to start the offense.
Duncan with the rebounds. It's very easy here for Tim Duncan. There's no size on the floor for the Mavericks.
Get up there, watch how Duncan extends his arms, goes up in the crowd, misses the first shot. He just goes up above everyone, secures it, and finishes it.
Correction on that last foul was Tim Duncan. The injury status of Dirk Nowitzki. Nice pass. Duncan for Rose. Malik Rose on the back door. 96-76 San Antonio. Dallas gives it right back.
What an advantage when you can look over the top of the defense, see your teammates cutting, and then have the skills to make a bounce pass for 2.
4 points. Take a look at the last 4 games, 37 in Game 6 against the Lakers, equaled a playoff career high with 40. Game 2 Wednesday night, 32. Tonight, 34. So he has tied George Gervin, equaling a franchise record with 30-plus in 4 consecutive postseason games. We mentioned earlier, Gervin did it back in 1978 in the Eastern Conference Semis against Washington.
Power out there on the floor. We'll see if the Spurs can defend them. Right corner for the open 3.
Don Nelson also said if things aren't going well, we'll play fast. Here's Duncan. So the Mavericks have a steal. Pass broken up by Williams. David Robinson. Trying to come from the blind side to the shot clock for the Spurs. David Jackson feeling better after bothered by a throat infection. Ginobili again. Ginobili. Bowen from Duncan. Rejected by Williams. 3-on-2 for Dallas. Finley lost it. Duncan for Bowen. Williams is back. Nice play. Parker set up by Bowen.
It's almost like Bowen forgot to pass a couple times.
Here's Ginobili. The reverse stuff by Ginobili.
After he feeds the post, then he runs a cut without the ball, gets an outside handoff. He's not going to come on the regular. And 24 rebounds. Right now, he has 3 points in this basketball game.
Well, but what I love about Duncan is he still passes the ball, gives it up, plus his team with 4 free throws.
4 on the shot clock. Down to 1. And Duncan is able to hit and draws the foul.
Duncan swings in. The clock is run down. He's got to get the shot off. You can see right there the reach in. He was hit on the left arm as he shot the jump shot.
That's an excellent call. It's a very foolish foul by Bell. He should have gone up and contested it.
His hands. You can see Duncan, and more Duncan.
Craig, I spoke to Duncan yesterday, and he said that his teammates played extremely well in the first half. He thought that the ball movement in the half-court offense was
8 points. Mavericks lead by 7. Here's the double on Duncan. He finds Jackson.
And that's the second time. Much attention to Duncan. If your defensive man turns his head to go help on Duncan by moving without the ball, 2 quick baskets for Jackson.
Parker from Duncan. Jimmins. So Dallas smashes his biggest lead of the night. We played 5 minutes of the third. Here's Parker for 3. Tony Parker. Lee Rose back on the floor, replacing David Robinson. Here's the double on Duncan, and he's still able to hit. He lost his headband in the process. Parker, yes.
That's the look right there as he pulls the arm down.
Nash sits down along with LaFrance. Duncan, and he suddenly is finding more room. Duncan on the follow.
And again, it all started with the pick and roll.
Scorer's table looking to check in. They double up on Duncan. Now single coverage, and Duncan able to score over LaFrance.
Beautiful offense against the zone, but not the second shot.
Down to 6 on the 24. Duncan and LaFrance got a piece of that shot. 4-point Spurs lead. And Duncan hits 1 of 2.
Unnecessary fouls.
This is a team with 9 available players. Robinson gets inside. Spurs with the ball. They lead by 2. Here's the alley-oop for Duncan. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the first. Manu Ginobili will check in a moment. Jackson, yes. in this first quarter. Malik Rose up front now with Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen, and the foul as Roger Bell came over to help out.
Than people think he is, maybe even than he thinks he is.
Here's Duncan, nice move, and Bowen up front. Nice pass, Duncan for Rose on a backdoor once again.
Because Van Exel got caught on top of Rose trying to front him.
Here's Ginobili from downtown. And Duncan is fouled.
One of the concerns of Don Nelson is keeping a body on Duncan. He's so long and so much bigger than most of the other players on the floor. Look how he extends those arms. He keeps it up high, and then the foul takes place. They have to keep a body on him so he cannot get close enough to outreach and outjump the other people. You have to box him out deep. Keep him away from that rim.
Foul committed by LaFrance is first. Mobley, along with Jackson in a three-guard set. Duncan from Rose.
As competitive as possible.
Mobley gets it right back to Duncan.
It wasn't necessary to do that.
16-point San Antonio lead. A high total of assists. Parker gets in. It counts. It's a goaltend on Walt Williams.
They do a great job.
61-49. San Antonio looking to close out this series. They do not want to go back to Dallas for a game 6. Duncan, the Spurs now lead at 63-49.
We were in meetings.
Jeff had his own meetings with a couple of teams. As Duncan puts it down.
And Finley has played very well the entire series. He's been consistent except in game 3 where he didn't play particularly well, but the other games he's been outstanding.
San Antonio's led by as many as 19, and Dallas has it down to 11. Duncan is fouled. Nahara and Van Exel.
Well, you saw Greg Popovich react the way he did to Robinson's pass. He felt there was some carelessness there. Didn't pay attention to detail on inbounding the ball. He's trying to shake the team up because he senses that Dallas is hanging around now.
You'd be seeing half of Duncan right now struggling from the free throw line.
Duncan getting position. Duncan.
And Nelson substituted for him more often and more frequently, and now he has more energy to finish the game.
Duncan is fouled, so he will go back to the line where he has struggled, only 4 of 10 at the line. On Thursday, 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. San Antonio 0 for 8 from the field in this fourth quarter. Robinson saves the pass. Duncan stops. We're underway in game 6. They collapse on Duncan, gets it to Jackson. Yes, Stephen Jackson with the first bucket of the night here in the day. Crowd wanted to travel on Parker. Here is Duncan. And it's tipped home as both Duncan and LaFrance. Little flip shot as Nick Van Exel likes to refer to that. They're running one-hander. Here's Duncan from Jackson. So the Spurs able to get Tim Duncan off to the good start.
He's a talented player. He's too talented to hang on the perimeter. He's mixing it up tonight.
It counts in the foul. Malik Rose will head to the line. 14-point game on Tuesday night.
You'll see his strength and power in here. He just goes right through the defender and taking a set. LaFrance has been a factor at the defensive end. That was his rejection that time. He's playing big tonight.
Beautiful quick release by Tim Duncan, who has 8 points. He's game 6 of the Western Conference Final Series. Duncan once again getting terrific position, and the Spurs extend to a 4-point lead. Once again, it's Nahara. Body to body on Duncan, is able to spin away. Claxton feeling confident. It counts, and a foul away from the ball.
Total energy reversal, total momentum change. Same thing for San Antonio here tonight.
Now Duncan backing Nahara. Tim Duncan with his first field goal in 27 minutes.
And you get the idea. Jeff, you mentioned this is exactly what San Antonio was facing in Game 5. The Mavericks are feeling the pressure here in the fourth quarter.
And right now, Dallas doesn't want to double because this man has been killing it.
Kerr again! Steve Kerr with another three!
Free throws and turnovers. Duncan just missed the first one.
1 of 3 from the line tonight. The series here tonight in 6. And Exel lost it. Ginobili with Claxton. 3-on-1. Duncan the trailer. Beautifully executed by the Spurs, and they now lead by 11.
Ginobili knew they had numbers. He turned up the speed. Claxton knew all along that his big man was trailing down the floor. Duncan with the finish.
5 on the shot clock. Jackson, not a good shot. Here comes Jason Kidd in a hurry. Martin around Duncan. Duncan got a hand on it.
The league's best defense here. New Jersey's best percentage shooter is Lucius Harris at 42%.
Here's Jackson, who took a terrible shot last time. That's a better assist. And Tim Duncan out of the timeout, a chance for a three-point play.
Well, that's what Steven Jackson, and he's been doing it all year long, has given them. Maybe not as good as Sean Elliott, who was here a few years ago, but he gives them that guy who can penetrate, draw the defense, and just dump it off for the easy finish. Well, Martin's doing a nice job of fighting Tim Duncan. Oh, good
Barry Kittles, nice defense. And look at the pass, trying to spin it ahead to Kenyon Martin. Wow. Tony Parker short-armed that one with a couple of big guys in front of him. Neither jumped in the way of the shot. What a pass. Kittles, baseline, blocked by Duncan. He'll take it after he got it back. And here comes...
We're talking the level of Magic Johnson, Pete Maravich, Walt Frazier, Jerry West here.
Rose up over Williams. Tough shot.
Has San Antonio made a perimeter shot?
Don't remember one.
I don't know if they've taken more than 2 perimeter shots. They've been either getting to the rim and finishing or getting to the rim and getting stripped. It's a tough matchup right here for Steven Jackson.
Harris blocked by Duncan.
Duncan always keeps the ball in play with his block.
That's his 3rd block shot already in the first quarter, fellas.
San Antonio leads the NBA every year in block shots per game. They did it again this year. Absolutely fabulous against Detroit, Johnson.
Tim Duncan puts it in, and again a chance to add one. 4 Nets now with 2 fouls each. Martin, Collins, Williams, and Rogers. Those are the big guys.
A broken play for San Antonio going to the hoop. The patience on offense. And when you think about Tim Duncan, is there a better word to describe him than patient? A 6-time All-Star, excuse me, 5-time All-Star
team.
There comes Johnson to double team. That leaves Claxton wide open, and he knocks down the jumper.
What does it come off of? Missed free throw.
Ginobili had Jefferson get on him in a hurry, and now takes about 3 steps with no traveling violation. His kid had a hand on it.
Kenyon Martin is everywhere.
Duncan off the glass. That's horrible, as Bill would say. But Duncan rips it, and he's hit 3 of his last 4. Jason Collins, Kenyon Martin, each with 3 fouls here within the first 51 seconds of the 3rd quarter, and Tim Duncan knocked them both down, so he's in double figures
for jump shots.
Let's see if Scott said his biggest concern was the size of the Spurs. New Jersey's in trouble. They need a timeout desperately.
The Spurs digging into the sides of the Nets. They're up 7. Martin gets set defensively. And Duncan gives it up. Parker will try a 3. Got it!
You got to take it yourself.
Parker on the pick and roll, back to Duncan. Duncan knocks it down outside. 12 points, 12 rebounds for the big fella.
You see what happens when you hit a couple shots. They respect you, they double team you, and leave the MVP wide open.
And it becomes infectious now for the Spurs. They're up double digits.
Of his career. Tim Duncan, though, who played against David Robinson when Tim Duncan was in college at Wake Forest, and David Robinson.
7 straight points now in the last minute and a half by the Nets to close that 10-point gap down to where we are, a 3-point lead. Duncan over Kenyon Martin. So that's a tough shot.
so complete, so perfect. I mean, 7 feet tall, facing up, dribbling away from the basket, nothing but net from 18 and fading. That would be the worst thing that would ever happen.
Duncan with Martin on his hip. Duncan, another tough shot. 8 this quarter, 16 for the game. He's got 16. See, the field goal shooting this quarter has been all San Antonio. They stretch their lead to a dozen with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Game 1 of the NBA Finals in San Antonio. Tim Duncan continuing to put on a third quarter show. Brad Nessel with Bill Walton, Tom Talbot, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott, Mike Tirico, Doc Rivers, Sean Elliott, Jim Gray, and Ahmad Rashad. I hope I didn't miss anybody.
Nice dribble handoff, Jason Collins.
Rogers doesn't get it. Duncan cleans the glass again.
Oh, great pass.
Jackson, look out! Rogers, and he's got 3.
Tim Duncan forces the missed shot. And then the hardest thing for a big man is to turn and get the same rebound that he just forced. The over-the-top pass, right on the mark, the throwdown. That is the MVP, the best player in the land, Tim Duncan. Popovich wisely brings Parker right back in.
Jackson with 4 on the shot clock. Duncan may have gotten away with a push for the offensive rebound, but he puts it right back in.
Give the MVP a little cushion there. They're doing a good job of making them play to their weaknesses.
Tim Duncan, and he's Duncan. He's got 25. Kenyon Martin's got to get back in this ball game, doesn't he?
You've got to come with a different defensive strategy.
Last basket.
You are not going to win the NBA championship by playing conservatively.
6 to go.
When we look back at some point, Tim Duncan was only 2 for 3.
Yeah.
Now he has 27, 15, and 5.
And another blocked another shot. But Collins rattles it off the glass.
Defensive presence for the Nets.
Kenyon Martin goes strong, had it blocked.
Record is 8 blocks. Duncan right there. And how many does Robinson have? 4 for David Robinson.
Oh, what a shot by Duncan.
Like I said, you can't play any single one move with Tim Duncan. Now, you can't be afraid to attack against it. If they're going to press you,
nice.
They can pay.
Duncan, a great leave for Robinson, and David just points at him.
And that is the way to do it.
But Harris runs into Collins around the pick. And Duncan blocks another shot at Kenyon Martin.
Over New Jersey is a very good team. Coming into this series, having won 10 straight.
They play Duncan straight up. He takes it over Collins and got the roll.
The big men in the game today.
Before he scored, the Nets had been empty on all 6 of their trips down court. Parker got it. Tony Parker.
Why don't you give the ball to Tim Duncan every single play?
Here comes Jason Kidd. Martin blocked by Duncan.
Oh, how about a little mayonnaise with that ball sandwich?
Unlike in game 1, the 2 block shots that have come tonight, one from Robinson, one from Duncan, have both gone out of bounds. Not with anything that the 2 big guys have done wrong, just because of the nature of the shot attempts. The Spurs have 3 blocks on the evening.
Of the work defensively on Tim Duncan.
I like the way he handled himself in the post-game press conferences and the 48 hours ensuing after game 1.
Malik Rose in the lineup for the Spurs as Duncan up and in. Kidd somehow got a pass to Harris. I don't know where that one came from.
A lot of time in the shot clock.
Collins inside, blocked by Duncan. This one blocked to Parker.
Tim Duncan in game 1 had 32 points on only 14 shots.
Here's Tim on the baseline, answering the call for us again.
Too much ball handling, the movement that was there early in the first quarter, they seem to come by the wayside.
Duncan, a little bit short, but got it back and made sure.
Not get called for, it's the finals, come on.
You looked in from atop of the sold-out SBC Center as David Robinson goes inside.
The story of David Robinson unable to produce a series of games go on is coming through once again tonight.
Duncan, there's some producing.
Fourth down, TD.
10 for Duncan.
Long rebound starting.
Got him.
Good bank pass.
Duncan again.
The presence of mind of Tim Duncan to realize that he had no chance in the first play.
But it was Tim Duncan, as he did on Wednesday, showing why he's the two-time MVP. 2 big buckets, and it's 47-44. Tim Duncan, will he get a touch here? He does with Collins on him. They double him, and Parker will take the outside jumper and knock it down. Tony Parker's first basket of the quarter. Here comes Tony Parker with a minute remaining, third quarter. Trying to get it to Tim Duncan. They finally do, and he lays it in.
Well, good job of throwing it back out to the top of the key, and instead of swinging it.
Duncan again with Mutombo on it. Jump hook by Duncan. Tough shot.
Well, as good as Mutombo is, he still can't guard Tim Duncan out of the block. And I know Byron Scott, when they take the first dribble, they want to come. Just a little late that time.
Getting down to 3:15 remaining.
Based on what the Spurs have done in the playoffs, they may have right where they want them.
Could be. They had the big comeback against Dallas in the fourth quarter. Duncan blocks the shot and takes it right away. Finally, he touches it with Duncan out of it.
Got to watch him going left.
He goes left, around Duncan, in tight.
Too many pump fakes.
Duncan wants it in the paint for the hook, and he got it. He had a career-high 35 in that one that Bill's talking about. He's 4 for 5 already tonight. Rose with the outside jumper. That's way short. Duncan trying to go straight back up with it, and does.
Why you keep your arms up above your shoulders?
You have been confused with Mr. Clean, however.
But look at Tim Duncan's first half statistics in this series. Only averaging 8 points on 36% shooting.
They double him again. Off balance, he got one to go. I don't know how, but he's got 9.
Well, you know, Hart. I mean, they're here, aren't they? If they're in this stage of the game, you got Hart in the building.
Michael J. Fox, we appreciate it. Have fun watching the game. Brad, let's go back to you.
Tim Duncan to David Robinson inside. Perfect pass.
Pick and roll with 2 7-footers. How do you defend that?
Everybody recovering and helping out your teammate and refusing to give an open look.
But through no fault of Anthony Johnson, the net offense has fallen apart here since Jason Kidd is on the bench. The rest of these guys have got to come alive and help AJ.
Speedy Claxton gives the Spurs the lead back. Claxton in there with Duncan, Robinson, Ginobili, and Steven Jackson. Duncan's going to go straight up over Mutombo.
You're talking about one of the premier defenders of all time, and Tim Duncan just looked at him and said, face. When you're playing as well as he is in a low-scoring game.
And Duncan's personal at Kmart.
And that was all set up because of the defensive front by Kmart.
We're deciding between Aaron Williams and Dikembe Mutombo. They wanted to guess which guy would work better with their...
With a fast break point advantage, Perry Kills has had the best night of anybody offensively. As you can see by those percentages, that's not saying too much. Tim Duncan leads the break. The pass to Ginobili. What a dish by Duncan.
Mutombo, single coverage on Tim Duncan.
Ginobili fakes the dish and goes in and scores.
Forget about making a bucket. How about just not falling down?
Turnovers in the corner. The Spurs all kinds of trouble. Can Parker hit another? Yes, he can. Tony Parker back-to-back threes. Kittles, he almost turned it over. 7 on the shot clock. And now they do turn it over. Rose, who had the shot on one end, the steal on the other, and Duncan finger rolls it. Well, just like that, the Spurs lead again. And then the break with Duncan scoring. And Byron Scott with court sounds in the huddle for his team talking about
stuck in the key after picking up their dribble.
At least after back-to-back turnovers, they'll take it. There's Rose again.
And both guys got caught on Tim Duncan. And nobody beat none of the guards. The big guys are both.
When you play it with a great player like Tim Duncan. Always keep active, never stop.
That was Duncan's 13th rebound. Now here he is offensively. Parker wide open three. Got it! Tony Parker starting to put one of those fourth quarters together like we saw earlier in the Western Conference playoffs.
Collins out and come back with Dikembe Mutombo.
Duncan hits the second.
Denying all the penetration.
Kenyon Martin in traffic. Tim Duncan comes up with a strip and the steal.
Duncan behind his back with the dribble, leading the break.
He just wanted to show us a little something like that.
He shows me something every time he walks on that floor. 18 Nets turnovers. Under 3 minutes, in fact, at 2.5. Duncan through traffic. That's why he's an MVP.
And you see right here, Eric Williams, always a tough task guarding this guy. Getting the hands over and then up. It's such a nice release. Hit his free throws prior to these ones.
And he rips that one.
His legs, which seems to be a game-by-game. Kenyon Martin only gets to play 3/4 of the tilt because of the excessive fouling.
Kenyon Martin is fouled out of one. There's a backdoor cut by Parker and the great feed by Duncan. I'm going to say Martin fouled out of one game and had 5 fouls in the other 2.
We've seen that this playoff series with Weber, Stojakovic, Nowitzki, Nash. The little guy rubbing off the big guy. And if you have a big guy that can pass, boy, that's tough to stop.
Particularly utilizing the pivot foot.
Kid's going to try for 2 in a row. Robinson off the miss. The outlet to Parker. He's got Bowen in front. Didn't see him in time. Duncan, a little head fake. Maybe half a travel to the score.
Tease him, Tim.
Tim Duncan filling the middle lane.
Oh, just everybody's out there. Kittle's got to step in there and take that charge.
Oh, please.
Get in there.
Tony Parker the rebound.
Horrendous recognition by the Nets.
What a crossover by Parker. Jackson gave up a 3, and again he does the whirling dervish inside to Duncan. This time Jackson slows it down.
And Rose got him.
They finally get it to him after an extra pass, and Duncan tips it in. 3 minutes remaining in the quarter. 14-10 San Antonio. Ginobili's in there for the Spurs, along with Parker, Duncan, Jackson. And it's Duncan off the glass. Tom and I watched him work on that. I bet it was 20 minutes from both sides in warm-ups tonight. 6-0 run by the Nets, and they tie it up.
Out of that timeout, Byron Scott should can that speed.
Spurs have missed their last 6. Duncan will try to alleviate that problem, and as only he can, he hits double figures to put San Antonio back in front. Try to spin and leaves it. Now the baseline for Martin. Tips, missed, pulled down by Mutombo and blocked from behind.
Back at you.
And has the ball in hand. His team down by 4. 5 minutes left, second quarter. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Kittles. The left hand.
Tim Duncan as a defender. Inspired by Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Willis Reed out there tonight.
With 4 minutes left to go in the second, they just got to be able to get some offense going.
What an off the inbound, off the glass. Automatic.
When was the last time you saw that play run for a center?
That block by Kenyon Martin, guys, the 13th of the game, tying a finals record. And Tim Duncan, Mr. Dependable, over Williams and off the glass again.
Yikes. You got to be strong just to get it through Aaron Williams. But to get it through and kiss it off the glass.
So 14 for Duncan. This is his first trip to the free throw line, which has been his really only struggle so far through the playoffs.
I'm surprised that more players don't use the glass. It has been proven.
He doesn't know that, but his objective is to get to the line.
And to the line he goes, where he knocks it down.
Talked about Duncan now, 3 for 3 for the night.
You see Duncan down there yelling at his teammates, get me the ball.
Mutombo on him. Kid comes to help out. Ginobili has an open 3, and he knocked it down.
I would let Mutombo guard Duncan one-on-one right now.
Well, that's where they're doing their damage tonight. 22 offensive rebounds for the Spurs on the evening and counting.
Here's Tim Duncan. Mutombo on it.
Not a lot of movement off the ball by the Spurs.
Duncan over Mutombo. Wow. So Tim Duncan's given San Antonio the lead back by 1. We're under 4.5 minutes. 9 seconds of game 4. Kerr having trouble getting it in. Got it into Duncan. Duncan driving on Kenyon Martin and lays it in with 5.6 left.
Just too skilled, as is this young man here, the league's MVP, waltzing in for an uncontested layup.
He's got the ball on the left block and gone right, and he had a great look at the bucket. You keep getting looks like that, you're going to put those down.
He wants to get to that jump hook a lot.
And now he strips it from Duncan again, but it comes free to Bowen. Duncan's just going to turn and deal right there.
Well, I'm surprised he takes so much time.
Line often determine huge games like this.
Duncan gave up a 17-footer for a runner and then tipped it in.
Just throw it out the front of the rim. Oh, Moses Malone, get your own rebound, tip it right back in.
Hope is alive for New Jersey.
Mutombo, you can see on Duncan, has checked in, almost stripped the ball from him, and Tim got possession back and knocked down his third field goal.
Everything.
He's going to try it again. This one's in and out. Collins almost tipped it in, going back up. Parker around a Duncan pick right back to him, and Duncan will take the long jumper and knocks it down.
That's the path of least resistance right there.
Turnover story even. Lucius Harris will take the jumper. Ginobili got a piece of it. Duncan right back to Ginobili on the break. Trying to tie it up and does.
Well, he is athletic. I think he's going to be a very good player in this league, Ginobili.
And he's put Tony Parker back in there, along with Rose and Duncan. Ginobili. Duncan off the feed from Rose. He'll take it any way he can get it right now.
He was in historical territory for a long while there, Malik Rose. Right now, the Spurs are outworking and outthinking the Nets.
Jefferson, nice spin inside, didn't finish though, and Duncan's on Collins, and it sends Tim Duncan to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Duncan with 11 points, snapping that 7-0 run.
How about the level of professionalism?
Down to 5 seconds remaining in a half. Duncan will get the last chance, it appears. On the baseline, Tim Duncan, and he knocked it down just before the horn sound.
That guy's pretty good.
Look at it. You're going to see this shot go before the lights go off on the backboard. There's Duncan, and there it goes, and it's in. Yep, they were fouling him in the first quarter. A Hackabowen, and didn't really work very well. Kid got Parker in the air, blocked by Duncan. Tim's numbers, a double-double again, as always. And he has his first point of the third quarter. Back-to-back MVPs for Tim Duncan. This season averaging over 23 points and right at 13 rebounds and 4 block shots a game. He missed the second. Out of bounds to the Nets.
This is Tim Duncan's 13th consecutive double-double in this year's playoffs. And this is why.
Tim Duncan gets a double team. They move it around the perimeter, and now Jackson leaves it for Duncan.
Great defense, Steven Jackson.
Harris crossing the lane.
Even better defense by Tim Duncan.
Now Claxton bringing it for the Spurs. Bowen for 3. Duncan somehow got that rebound and puts it in.
What a rebounder. Never brings his arms down below his shoulder.
Where's the consistency?
He gets 2 fouls in 21 seconds.
NBA Finals. No one likes the refs.
Keep our eye on that as we're under 3 minutes in the third quarter. Well, it's right now, Stu, as a matter of fact, as Mutombo's just gotten up, getting ready to remove the warm-up.
How about zone defense for the Nets?
Spurs now haven't had a field goal in 3 minutes. Duncan over Collins. There's one.
7 foot tall, being able to fade away, moving to your right. Duncan hasn't had the explosive game since game 1 when he had
to see. I'd be interested to see if Parker get involved in this game a little bit.
Duncan, we know he's involved. He's looking there, trying to get it down to Rose, and does.
What a pass. You could be in a deflated situation.
Yeah, I always go 2 for 1.
Jefferson underneath. Duncan blocked the shot, his 4th of the night.
Who's going to guard Tim Duncan? Aaron
Williams faces that unenviable test. What a pass.
And Parker with a reverse layup off the glass.
That is a great look right there and a nice finish.
Who had trouble earlier in the series from the free throw line tonight is 5 of 6, make it 6 out of 7.
And Chris Rock pointed it out. He said that when Jason Kidd has to score and shoot too much, the Nets don't play well. Everybody else standing around.
Duncan on the baseline. It goes.
What an angle. Byron Scott scratching his head, saying, we need a timeout. Bad.
The angle Bill talked about, an impossible one it appeared. But it goes up, bounces around, drops through. 76-67 Spurs.
Doesn't matter who it is. That's a foul 95% of the time in this league.
There's Duncan's night from the field and the line, and he continues to drain him from the strike.
Utilizes the complete roster, and you got a great post feeder in Steve Kerr out there.
Kidd trying to double, and that leaves Kerr open, and he knocked down a 3.
Byron Scott telling us that he has been so disappointed with the team's closeout defense. He's just allowing guys to waltz their way to the hoop.
Jefferson penetrates and gives it to Collins. Block shot inside. Robinson pulls it down.
I think I'd give a half to Duncan, half to Robinson there.
I'm good with that. Tony Parker looking for a pick from Duncan, gives it right back to him. And now Tim driving on Kenyon Martin, and got it.
We have seen literally every shot imaginable in this series from Tim Duncan.
Martin faces Duncan.
Too much standing around.
And another shot blocked inside.
And as just a second-year player, Jason Collins, who's made vast strides, will have to develop that short little 12-foot jumper to help his squad down the road.
Almost halfway through the quarter, we haven't seen a foul yet. And Tim Duncan's got his second basket off the glass. Nice-looking shot.
Being stagnant and standing around.
Tim Duncan's been very good from the line the last 2 games, and he rips that.
When he gets to the half court, then I try to set people up. But, boy, let it fly.
Spurs are approaching 3.5 minutes without a field goal. And that one doesn't go either, but Duncan will take another, and he knocks it in.
Where would the Spurs be without Tim Duncan?
Probably not in this series.
In great shape. Well, how long is that going to last, though?
It said if it could.
Jefferson, nice feed inside to Williams, but Tim Duncan has blocked his 3rd shot of the quarter.
And you look right here, Duncan. I mean, these guys are tremendous defenders.
Duncan wants it down low. 21 seconds left. Nice. The feed to Jackson as he slices through the lane. Kerr, who had 6 points in the 4th quarter, 2 big shots, and an even bigger steal that helped seal Game 5. He's in there, and so is Speedy Claxton. Nice feed from Duncan to Jackson, and Jackson points as if to say, thanks, Tim.
We've seen this before, too.
Yep.
Match field goal for turnover, 1 for 1. Not a good ratio.
Kerr wanted it to get it to Duncan so badly, waited until he fell down and got back up, and then Duncan inside outside to Speedy Claxton, and just that quickly, Speedy's in the books.
What a players. What a series. What a finals. When they have relentlessly pounded it to the hoop. They have not done that tonight. They've got to get back to what makes them the odds-on favorite to win this championship.
Inside, outside, and Claxton knocks it down again. When Duncan draws a double team, Claxton's been wide open.
Adam Xavier.
Not forget that Aaron Williams' grandmother suffered a life-threatening stroke in the Detroit series in the Eastern Conference Finals. He had to miss some time.
Tim Duncan, chance for a 3-point play. And speaking of quiet, that's about as much emotions you're going to see out of Tim Duncan. He knows his time is now to get his team in this ballgame. Watch the reaction. That's about as much as you're going to see out of TD. That's the first shot he's taken this quarter, and he hammered it home, and he's got a chance to cut it to a 5-point ball game.
But on the hot seat with Stuart Scott in the pregame show, Tim Duncan was saying, that's not who I am.
They're being aggressive.
Zone defense again, and
just like
Kenyon Martin got it inside. Block shot by Duncan. But Collins is there. Duncan with his 4th block shot. They're looking on, as proud of their son, I'm sure, as a basketball player, but as the human being he is and the things he's done in this city. Here's Duncan. Kick out to Bowen. Good 3-point shooter. Got it!
I think things are changing, though. San Antonio starting to come alive.
Duncan blocks another shot.
He's just had the record in the first half.
He's got 5. Or he might have hit it, and now it's Tony Parker, the rebound. Duncan's in front. He didn't see him in time. Now he got it to him off the glass, in and out. Duncan's second chance. Spurs down 4, a chance to cut further into the Nets' lead that at one point was 10.
Nice pass.
Robinson from Duncan.
They play so well together on both ends.
Duncan in the low block for the tie. Got it!
And that's the 11th turnover of the night for San Antonio. They're playing far too tight. Parker, Bowen, Ginobili, Rose have got to come alive.
The extra pass, Duncan to Robinson.
And Tim Duncan is working on a quadruple double.
We approach the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. New Jersey leading by 10. Duncan trying to get it to Robinson and can't find the opening. Tim will take the outside shot and got it. Duncan's first basket of the quarter from the outside. He's got 16 points. Mutombo in there. He'll guard Duncan. Not from out there, he won't. And Duncan got another.
We are looking at a flawless performance.
Tim Duncan has also become Mr. Outside from the top of the circle. That one brought the crowd up, and that's where we are. Claxton gets it to Duncan, who faces Mutombo. Duncan scores inside.
Big guys aren't supposed to cross over like that.
What a master. What a talent.
Tim Duncan, Mr. Everything. Watch the move and the crossover on Mutombo. That gave him his 20th point.
Punish Jackson.
Backing him in. Up and under, blocked by Duncan.
Of course, Duncan knew that.
You've got to let Duncan isolate against Mutombo here. Nice.
Rose is all alone. They came over to help out. And Duncan, the assist man, finds Rose. Rogers packs it back inside of Martin. Blocked by Duncan. That's his 31st block shot of this series. That's a new record.
7th of the game tonight for Duncan. You cannot just go right into his face and throw up weak stuff.
Duncan gives it up. Jackson for the first lead. Got it! Duncan in traffic.
What a pass.
Robinson over Mutombo.
The 31st block by Tim Duncan. That kind of execution will not get it done by Kenyon Martin. That led to a beautiful arcing three-pointer for the first lead of the night. David Robinson extends that with his relentless work on the offense. That's where the responsibility lies.
They've come up empty on their last 7 trips, have the Nets offensively. Now it's Duncan backing in. The kick out. Jackson's hit 2 big threes. He's hit 3!
That they would stay at home on him.
Kittle's trying to answer. Robinson pulls it down.
That ball was blocked by Tim Duncan, which would give him 8 for the game.
If that is a block shot by Duncan, check out the numbers, fellas. 20 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 block shots. If they've added that other one. It's a triple-double, we know. Kenyon Martin.
Ooh.
Rebound is Duncan. Jason Kidd for 3. They have to have that one. It didn't go. It was halfway down. Duncan the rebound. His 20th. And Kidd gets Duncan. Tim Duncan came in in 10 games in the finals between 99 and tonight, averaging 26 points and 15 rebounds. He's been even better than that tonight. Maybe not with the points, but with everything else. 17 rebounds for David Robinson. Tim Duncan coming out. I wonder who your MVP is. San Antonio, a lot of people talked about their 99 title having an asterisk next to it. The 2003 title's about to have an exclamation point next to it. The San Antonio Spurs are your world champions.
Time now to bring the commissioner back up for the presentation of the most valuable player.
What can I say? He led his team in points, in rebounds, in blocks, and assists for this entire series. Your two-time consecutive NBA MVP is the most valuable player of the 2003 NBA Finals. Congratulations, Tim Duncan.
Tim, not only do you go out this season with the regular season and the finals MVP, you become the first man in 10 years to have a triple-double in the NBA Finals in a single game. Was tonight any tougher than any of the other games along the way in this series?
Absolutely, it was. Those guys didn't want to go home. They didn't want to give up, but our team stuck with it. Our guys were incredible tonight. We played the whole way through. Just a lot of credit to our guys.
Same thing I asked Pop. Is this one any sweeter than 99?
It is, because it's now.
A word about your running mate, the other 7-footer, David Robinson, as he says goodbye.
Yeah, hate to see him go. We're going to try to talk him into coming back another year, but I don't know if that's going to work.
Congratulations, Tim Duncan. Does anybody want to hear from David Robinson? Where are you, David?